states that run out of money and collapse, war does tend to follow. You get strong men in power. You need people who need to seize resources. They can't do it through their own productivity, and so they look outward. But I would go a step further. War can also happen through economic irrelevance. There's a lot of countries. Here's an example. I don't want to be too mean to the Dutch, but the Dutch used to have arguably the world's most powerful navy.
Sure.
And there's a very reasonable question. Well, why is that not today? Why is this tradition of maritime prowess not continued into the modern day? Even through World War I, you still had the Dutch having a quite powerful navy. And the answer is not that the Dutch have seen this economic collapse. It's not that their population has disappeared. It's that the world grew up around them so much faster that they became irrelevant. Nobody destroyed the Dutch Navy. They just made it not something you have to think about anymore.
They were made irrelevant.
Exactly. Another example of this is South Korea. South Korea has a rapidly declining birth rate. They're now down to about 0.67 births per woman on average, and you need to be at about 2.1 to meet replacement rate. And what that means is that North Korea doesn't need to fight South Korea to win. All they have to do is keep having kids and making artillery shells. And within about 2 generations, there's going to be 8 times more North Korean military age males than South Korean. And I'm not saying military age males just because they're going to get into a fight. Military age male is a reasonable proxy for economic productivity, right? These people are who are going off, they're starting businesses, they're running factories. And then you wait 4 generations, not that long, right? You can do 4 generations inside of a lifespan. Inside of a lifespan, you're looking at something like 16, maybe 20 times as many North Koreans as South Koreans. So what happens when South Korea is, what happens when there's less than 1 million people in Seoul? And the answer is, it doesn't matter how smart they are. And maybe they're really rich per person in Seoul, but they're economically irrelevant. And so you have to ask, is the United States going to be able to justify, let's say, fighting World War III over a country that has shrunk down to be smaller than a small town?
No, your country just turned into the Dutch Navy.
Exactly. And so this is the real rat race that we're all stuck in, whether we like it or not.
But this is also
the globalized economy has made it where you have to hit a certain level of growth, or you will, even if you don't run out of money, you become irrelevant, you become a target, and people are, there's this nice idea like, well, I've heard people say, I think we would still stick up for South Korea. I say, you can't possibly predict what the world looks like a lifetime from now. And I bet that Americans a lifetime from now are not willing to send their kids to go die for a tiny enclave of people they've never met on the other side of the world who are economically irrelevant to our economy. Like, there's a reason that we have such strong ties with South Korea today, because we have incredible economic bonds in the automotive space, the resource space, shipbuilding, semiconductors, displays, TVs, computers, phones. Where's your phone made? My phone's made in Korea. Sure. If that's not the case, the world changes.